Ben, there's been a bit of talk about Josh Jenkins. From your point of view, is he fit enough and in good enough nick to play round one?
Yeah, absolutely. We back in our players. He himself would probably say that he hasn't had the pre-season that's blown things out of the water, but he's playing the role that we're asking him to do. Can he do it better? Probably, but we'll certainly back him in. He's an integral part of our forward line, and at his best, he's vital to the way we play. So we're looking forward to what he can produce come round one and going forward.
Have you settled on your back six with the defenders? Are you pretty close to know what you want back there?
Pretty close. Probably can't spell it out for you right now, Tommy, but no, reasonably close. I've still got a few guys. There's probably a couple of spots that I want my guys to be really training the house down and putting their hand up for their spot, which they've been doing all pre-season. So not 100% settled, but I have a fair idea of what it should look like.
So how do blokes pinch those spots over the course of the next week, given the fact there's no more games?
Yeah, well, it's training form, to be honest, and I mean, you hear it a lot, but it's how they apply themselves in the areas that I'm looking for, plus Pikey, what he's looking for, and still put your hand up. So how you train, are you playing the system they want you to, are you doing it with effort and energy all the time, and they can certainly put their hand up for that. So yeah, it's only a week away, but there's still opportunities for him.
Is Tom Doty the front running for that role?
He's in
the leader's role, or is it still a bit, as you said, open?
Yeah, it's still a bit open. He's in the mix. I think between Tom, Alex Keith, Andy Otten, amongst others, they're probably the ones who are leading. So again, I've enjoyed what they've done pre-season. It also depends a little bit on opposition, who we're playing as well, and what that makeup will look like. So, but right now, Keithy and Tommy have been doing some pretty good stuff.
How about Kyle Cheney? Is he in that mix as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle's in the mix. He probably has had an interrupted pre-season a little bit, so maybe not at his full capacity, but played the last couple and has looked pretty good, and we're looking for him to elevate. He was in our best side a couple of years ago, so yeah, there's certainly some competition there. And
the running halfback role, that's obviously not going to be used by Brodie Smith until maybe late in the season.
Yeah.
Who's the front runner there? How do you juggle that one?
Well, it's interesting because we're having a look at a few different options there. I think Dave McKay, who's done it before and spent a bit of time there this pre-season, can fill that role. Richard Douglas, we've had a look at him across the half-back line. Bryce Gibbs occasionally has come back there, but Campo's not letting me get a hold of him too much. So there's a few options there. So we're still deciding on what that exactly looks like, but we've got options there. I think that another one is Luke Brown. Can we get him up the ground a little bit higher and get him using the ball a little bit more? So we've got options there, but again, it's probably like that third tall option. We've still got to find the one that works for us.
Talk about Wayne Miller playing down back. He's being injured pre-season a little bit, but could he play a role down there? Where does the club see him fitting in? No, I'd like to see him spend some time down there. Unfortunately, he's had a little bit of interrupted pre-season, but he's the one, a prototype that you look at. You say he's got some speed, he uses the ball really well, and a guy who has worked a lot this pre-season on his defensive action. So, yeah, when the time's right, I'd love to get him back there and see what he can do. Is he fit for round one at some level, or is he? Yeah, definitely. He played, I think it was at least a half, probably 3/4 last week in the SNFL. And moved pretty well. So he's just a gradual build in his preparation. So he'll be in the mix if he trains well, but for AFL selection. But he just needs to probably play a few more games. Yeah. Are you confident Brad will be okay for round one? Brad Crouch, he is in the mix, but he's going to have to do a bit of work. I think together with Tex, they both will put themselves up for selection if they can get through training, and then it's about how they pull up if they get through some training, and then how many guys can you take in who are a little bit underdone, which is fair to say both of those guys probably are. So they'll be in the mix and they'll have a go, and really it's a wait and see proposition. Would you consider just not risking them at all? It'll come under consideration, yeah. So consideration will be you play them or you don't take that risk and let them build up again and get themselves until they're really 100% ready to fly. So yeah, it'll all go in the mix. Players had 4 days off. What are they doing this weekend? What's on the agenda? Yeah, we'll train tomorrow. We'll have a main training session because we play on a Friday night, a little bit of a shorter week, so it's only 7 days away. They'll have a good session, and hopefully it'll cover all the aspects we want to continue to work on. But they'll crack in tomorrow morning and hopefully get themselves ready to go come round one.
And Ben,
what's your thought on the talk about the AFL reserves competition? You know, going back to what it used to be.
Is that on the agenda again?
Big time,
yeah.
Possibly for 2019.
Yeah, okay.
And there's talk Adelaide and Port Adelaide will have to field the team in their national comp, and maybe not the SANFL. What's your thoughts on that whole process?
Yeah, I missed all that this morning, but the process sounds fine and workable. And I think we'll let the powers at hand sort of deal with that, and then we'll be able to put ourselves up for whatever they decide is right. They have been talking about that for a number of years, though, even maybe since I was playing, Andrew, which is a while ago now. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. Yeah, but if the powers that be decide that's what we'll do, then we'll join in.
Do you think it'll affect the SANFL in that regard, Ben?
Possibly. I know we are enjoying the competition at the moment, the SANFL. The boys get a kick out of playing in it, and it is a sensational competition. So, don't know. Let's see if it actually gets off the ground first.
Where do you think the players would develop better?
I think they'll develop under the system that we want them to play in, which we get at SANFL level, and if it happens to be at an AFL reserves comp, then they'll get that there as well. So I don't think it necessarily matters too much there.
And what about Essendon's forward line? How imposing is that? Obviously Stewart, Hooker, Danaher, how difficult? I mean, obviously one of the taller forward lines going around.
Yeah, they are, and they're pretty mobile too, the way they move. I think Stewart's added another dimension to them. He can not only mark, but he can certainly good across the ground. We know what Danaher can do, and Hooker provides a pretty strong contest for a big bloke. And you're probably missing the bit of speed they have up there as well, which is... So it's going to be interesting, and we know the way they play, but they've got marking threats and threats on the ground. So for my area, we're going to have to be pretty sharp and on our game to be able to defend them.